Hi friends. Welcome back to the Wolf Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a movie called Sleep Tight, released in the year 2011. The movie opens with the main character Caesar, who is the attendant of an apartment in Barcelona. He is on the roof of a building seemingly committing suicide, explaining his nature of being unable to find happiness no matter what he does or what good things happen to him. The movie then shifts back to his daily life of being the attendant, where mostly the residents don't care about his presence, except for a few who needs him to fix something or the other in their apartment. He is doing the same monotonous job every single day. One of the residents named Clara lives with her boyfriend, who is always away due to work, and visits Clara once in a while. She seems to be a bright and happy person, who acknowledges his presence, and Caesar likes doing things for her. At first, it seems like he only respects her being nice to him, but the story then unfolds and takes the creepiest turn. The scene shifts to where he is waking up beside her early at 3 a.m. and sneaks out of her apartment. And he does that on a daily basis. But one day he gets discovered by Ursula, the daughter of another tenant. In return, to keep her mouth shut, she demands to receive €60 money, which Caesar accepts and gives her whatever she wants and tolerates whatever she does to bully him. Each day after waking up in Clara's apartment, he first brushes his teeth with her brush, and after carefully putting it in the exact place, he begins his routine of working in the main lobby. Caesar then pays a visit to his mother, who is in the hospital and is very sick. Unable to speak to his son but listening to him talk about Clara, he then explains to his mother how he doesn't like smiling face of Clara, and he will do whatever it takes to wipe off the smile from her face. He then returns back from the hospital and gets scolded by one of the old tenants for being late. In the meanwhile, the other tenant, Veronica, requests that he look after her dogs, and provides detailed instructions on how to feed them. Caesar, who has been entrusted with feeding them, disregards her instructions and feeds Rocio a slice of pie. Clara enters her apartment, opens up letters she has received, then tears them and throws them away, all while Caesar is hiding under her bed waiting for her to fall asleep, in order to use chloroform to keep her asleep so he can maliciously mess with her and the product she uses for her skin. It is the morning after Caesar sneaks out of Clara's apartment, with Ursula waiting outside and demanding that Caesar provide her with an adult movie, in exchange for keeping her mouth shut, and ask him to give €100 now. The scene then shifts to Caesar, who is working in the lobby, notices Veronica walking out of the apartment and questions her about her other dog Rocio. Veronica explains that Rocio has terrible diarrhea due to something he may have eaten. Caesar has also successfully irritated another of the tenants by failing to care for the plants, causing them to die. And he is very happy when he achieves his goal by frustrating his tenants. Caesar informs the apartment cleaners that the office was not properly cleaned, putting the cleaner's son in hot water. Caesar hides under Clara's bed once more, uses chloroform on her to keep her asleep, and begins tampering with more of Clara's belongings in an attempt to irritate her. He also plants bug eggs in her apartment. A few days pass and Clara's rashes, which she was developing as a result of Caesar tampering with her care products, have faded slightly. However, she discovers a swarm of cockroaches in her apartment, and rushes downstairs to take help of Caesar and asks him to help her fumigate her apartment, and mentions that in the meanwhile she will live with her mother. While going downstairs in the lift, Caesar asks her indirectly, "How is everything going with the guy who harasses her over the phone?" and mail, to which she becomes suspicious and questions how he knows. And he removes her suspicion by mentioning Veronica has mentioned to him. She then thanked him and went to live with her mother. The police are called in to figure out who is harassing Clara, and Caesar frames the cleaner's son, resulting in his arrest. Clara returns to the apartment, and while Caesar hides under her bed, he discovers that she has also brought her boyfriend Marcos. Both of them start being intimate on their bed wildly. The sound of their making out wildly makes Caesar uncomfortable. He then becomes fearful of getting caught by her boyfriend, and makes a desperate attempt to leave the apartment quietly after accidentally spilling some chloroform on his face. He sneaks out from under her bed, leaving his bag behind in a hurry, but realizes he has the wrong keys, trapping him inside. The chloroform effect takes place, and then Caesar awakens in Clara's shower, and gets concerned that Marcos has discovered many suspicious items in Caesar's sports bag. Caesar then attempts to flee the apartment, but as he was about to exit, he gets discovered by Marcos. He then explains that he just came inside in a hurry because he has left his bag in which he has the key to Veronica's apartment. And since he is a caretaker of the whole building, he successfully tricks them and then leaves the apartment and heads downstairs, only to discover that he is about to be evicted by the building owner, who gives him notice of 15 days due to the complaint from the old man. Clara and Marcos then happily leave for weekend trip together, which makes Caesar furious, and he goes on terrace to commit suicide, thinking he can never wipe off the happiness from Clara's face. As he was about to jump, he sees both of them return back, because Clara is 4 weeks pregnant, which surprises Marco, because he has met her after 6 weeks and always used a condom when they had sex. Marcos then calms down Clara, saying he is not doubting her, but it's a big surprise to him too. Caesar becomes happy about knowing Clara's pregnancy and sneaks to her apartment and uses chloroform on both of them. He then sneaks in between them to have sex with her for the last time before leaving the apartment. The next day, Marcos knocks on Caesar's door, looking for him, and requests that he check Clara's apartment because there is another bug problem. Caesar, who was duped into checking out the place, realizes that Marco has caught on to him sneaking into her place and has discovered what Caesar has been drugging her with. Caesar and Marco start fighting, and Caesar grabs a shard of glass and stabs Marcos in the neck, killing him, and turning the crime scene as Marcos committing suicide. Caesar sneaks into Ursula's apartment, knowing she knows Caesar was involved in Marcos' death, and threatens her not to rat him out to ensure Caesar does not go to jail. He then takes out his luggage from the staff room, and meanwhile, a devastated Clara also leaves the apartment permanently to live with her mother. Seeing her devastated brings happiness to Caesar, and he waves her goodbye smiling. The movie ends with Clara putting back her baby in the cradle and opening a letter sent by Caesar, which she is still unaware of, where he mentions that he is hoping that whenever she looks at their child, she will think of him, and he thanks her for helping him finally be happy. That was all for the explanation. I hope you liked it. Please leave a like to help our channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your view on this movie. Thank you for watching.